Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another exciting Bald Explorer Live. Yes, live from the Worthing House here in jolly old Sussex, and it is the 27th of April 2018. It's a little cold today. It's a little cold. We're at the end of April, coming towards May, and it's like suddenly winter has suddenly descended on us again, which is rather infuriating. I'm not very keen on that at all. Pretty miserable day. I was supposed to be out, ladies and gentlemen. I was supposed to be out filming today, having a walk through the Bluebell Woods is what I was supposed to be doing. Didn't happen. Nope, didn't happen today, no, because I was sheltering inside, doing some edits. Because of the weather, we cancelled that event, and so well, actually, it was quite handy because I needed to get on and do some edits for stuff. And I got on and did that, being very busy, actually, in actual fact. And also, I did some exercises today. Yes, when you're sitting down too long at a screen, fiddling about with video, and I was having some technical troubles as well. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you. Technical issues that I didn't want to have. It was a nightmare. I need to get that compressor fixed in here, don't I? Anyway, yeah, no, it was a bit of a nightmare. So anyway, more of that if possible. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. Yeah, so busy. So I did some exercises, lifted up a few weights, ran on the spot. Got to keep fit, you see. Got to keep fit for, ladies and gentlemen, all the lovely summer walks that we're going to be up to in that season that I've just mentioned. So that's all good. Let's see if there's anybody actually out there watching on the old Bald Explorer Live. Yeah, we've got Cynthia saying good evening. Andy Ash, be gentle, Richard. I've cracked open the wine. Try not to let you spill it then. That's no good. The sound is out of sync, says Chris Puller. I do apologise. Evening all. Like watching the flashing blade. Oh, oh dear, it's all wrong my end, says Claire Leach. Hello, Elaine. Evening all. Sound sync is fine, says Paul Watt. So I guess if somebody like Paul has got the sound in sync, it must be working. It's just maybe somewhere in the ether it's being interfered with. Who knows? Who knows? I can't do anything about it now. Judith Oakley says it's all okay there, which is absolutely marvellous. Well done to you, Judith. Good evening, says Russell McDonald Bell. Jennifer Stewart is here. It's out of sync on my end too. Oh dear. Well, hopefully it will sort itself out, and I do apologise for that. Don't know why. Don't know why it should be out of sync. There was a little thumbs up emoji, and it's very nice. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, this is the rerun. This is the rerun. So you should have ran back to Facebook where we did it live. But if you don't do Facebook, I completely understand. It's no problem, no skin of my nose. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, the very exciting news is we have 605 members in the Bald Explorer group on just off the Bald Explorer page. You see, you get onto the Facebook main page, and then you take a little slip road down into the Bald Explorer land, and then over the Humpback Bridge you should see the group. And then in the group you'll see this wonderful great big tithe barn where everybody gathers up and they stick up their little posters. They've been drawing pictures and they shove them up on the walls. Everybody's very happy, and they're all having, a few bevies and a couple of cans of Coca-Cola and maybe some hot chocolate as well thrown in. In actual fact, that's not too far away from the truth, because tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, yes, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, yes, tomorrow, not yesterday, but yes, tomorrow, is the Bald Explorer, the first ever Bald Explorer official meetup. Yes, it's meet up, put your feet up. That's right, we're meeting at the Castle Inn at midday tomorrow on Saturday the 28th of May, 28th of April, not May, 28th of April. It's come round, isn't it? It's come round, midday. Now, you don't have to eat there if you don't want to. You may just want a cup of coffee. You may want a little small beer. You may want a big pint of something heavy, a few doubles or treble whiskies or perhaps some gin and tea. Who knows what it is? You may want to have a nosh. You may bring your own sandwiches and eat them discreetly without telling anybody. But whatever it is, we're all meeting up there at midday. So make sure you bring... Now, you shouldn't need a brolly. You shouldn't need... I've just this second checked... Not this second. The second that's been and gone a few seconds earlier. I have checked the weather. I've had a word with the weather forecaster in the sky. It's going to be overcast and the sun is going to come out. There just might be a couple of drops of rain, but I can't guarantee it. So, it might be clear. Sorry, the old wonky eye's gone a bit funny there. Mark Selwood says, I got indigestion rush eating fish and chips to catch the Vobes show. Well, this is the Bald Explorer Live. It's like the Vobes show, I admit. Graham Whittington says, meet up or meet up. Yeah, quite right. Whoop, whoop, see you there, says Alan Piddington. Now, the thing is, it's going to be a bit scary for me, so I don't want you all to pounce on me and go, hello, Richard, hello, Richard, hello, Richard, hello, Richard, all in the same voice like that. If you could have different voices, different hairdos, longer noses than some people, bushy eyes, perhaps a couple of double chins, beer barrels, half a dozen hands, that will be good. That would be fair enough. Fair enough, mate, fair enough, mate. Have you got tiny little fingers, tiny little fingers? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Oh, sorry, every time I say fair enough, I have to, fair enough, mate, have you got tiny little fingers, tiny fingers? Yes, I have to go into that song. I'm sorry, it's just, it's a sort of ritual now. A bit like the Gog-a-magog, 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 Gog-a-magog. It's a bit that's another ritual, but I only really do that with somebody else. We may do that ritual halfway through the meal. I'll have a word with the woman, and we may just at some spontaneous moment stand up and go, Gog-a-magog! And of course, if everybody else was to go, Gog-a-magog, then that will make the pub landlord turn in the bar and try and get us to be kicked out. Anyway, just a bit of fun. Mark English has arrived. Hello, Mark. Lovely to see you. A bit late as I was in the shower. Still, he smells nice for tomorrow. Oh, you're not going to wash them between now and tomorrow, then, I see. Who knows where he's going tonight? He could be going to some spiritual, I don't know, showering of the vibe. We get the vibes from the Vobes, actually. Mark Selwood says, good to know that you won't be Whiffy Mark. That's right, Whiffy Mark. He'll be there in a jiffy, but he won't be whiffy, which is very good. Hello to Cynthia, says Nicky Jess, which is good. Everyone's sort of milling over. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Gog-a-magog. We'll have a Gog-a-magog ritual. We'll all meet up. I'm not quite sure because we did talk to the landlord about meeting and having it all in the garden if it was nice. But if it's not nice, we'll just have to go in. I think Claire has organised a table. But what I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to be, you don't all pounce at me at once, because I remember, I haven't met many of you, and so I may not remember who you are. And when you say, oh, hello, Richard, I'm Terence Leswarth. Terence Leswarth. Oh, yeah, never heard of him. Terence Leswarth. I may look slightly phased when you say, hello, Richard, I'm Terence Leswarth. You can't be. I thought he was Terence Leswarth. Yeah, well, we're all Terence Leswarth. Oh, my God. Gog-a-magog. It's all going to be slightly a bit weird, but for me, of course, it's very humbling that you're all going to go. Of course, I'll be on the door there with the ticket machine, taking those £50 notes from you, making sure that you come in and have a good time. £50 notes? How silly! No, you can pay me £100 notes. It's fine. No. So now, the other thing to mention is it dawned on me that, of course, you may all be expecting me to be standing there with a camera in hand and going, hello, I'm Richard Vobes, I'm out on another walk. Well, I'm not going to. The one thing I'm not going to do is bring a camera. I figured that there'll be the world and his brother there, and his sister, and his uncle, and his Tom Cobley, with their own phones, taking pictures going, oh, look, quick, it's the old Vobie one-eyed Kenobi. Let's see if we can get a picture of his artificial eye. Oh, that'd be nice. Oh, there it is. Artificial eye, click, click. So, So whilst you're doing that, and no doubt you'll all be posting pictures, and for the next day, the Saturday evening, will just be a picture fest, no doubt, of the grand meet-up in the group. So there'll be tons of pictures of people taking pictures of other people taking pictures with people with the pictures and plastered pictures all over them. So I'm not going to take a camera. So if anyone gets my good side, if anyone gets my best side, it must have mean that my trousers have dropped. But so no posting that picture. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that's all good. Will you not record it? No. I'll be filming a vlog for you, says Mark English. You see, the last thing you want me to be doing, as you've all come very kindly to this great meet-up, not just to meet me, I appreciate that, but to meet each other as well, but the last thing you want me to be doing is to standing there with a camera, because the trouble is I will phase out and be thinking, oh, how does this cut to this? I need to get a close-up of that, and I'd just ignore you all. And we don't want that. I want to be there. Now, you've got to also, I'd like you to go easy with this hand. You can go mad with this hand, but this hand, this one on my right hand, the one with 5 fingers on it, well, 4 fingers and a thumb, this one here that's waving to you now, this very one, look at the long lifeline, ladies and gentlemen, the long lifeline. Look at that, it goes, it's such a long lifeline. Oh, my heart. Oh, my goodness. Oh, excuse me a minute. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm all right. It's just my long lifeline goes straight through my heart, out the other end, and goes up the other hand, you see. It's a bit bizarre. No, go easy with this hand when you shake and you pummel my hand, ladies and gentlemen. Go easy with it. Because for some reason, this desk in here is the wrong height. And every time I set up the show, I seem to get repetitive strain injury in this wrist. It's very annoying. It aches. So hopefully it'll be gone by tomorrow. I have to keep it shaking and wobbling and all over the place. Obviously it needs constant use, the old wrist, but there we are. Linda Kane says, me too, sounds like the only thing that's okay, even comments. Oh, everyone's complaining that everything's stuck. I do apologise for it. Absolutely gutted. Now can't come tomorrow, says Ali Llewellyn Slade. I'm so sorry about that, Ali Llewellyn Slade. Had been looking forward to it, but next time. What is your excuse? That's what I want to know. Claire Leach says, glad it's not just me. Oh, thought it was the wine. Says so they're having trouble. Maybe duck out and start it again. Maybe that would be the best thing. If you duck out of Facebook, we'll all wait. We'll all wait for you. Duck out. I'll just wait here. It's all right. I'll twiddle my thumb. No, it's fine. Well, you know. I'll tell you what. I'll put some music on whilst we're waiting. Here we go. Let's put a bit of this on. Have you gone? Have they gone now? Oh, I can tell you a few things about those people now that they've gone. Oh, blimey. Nothing but troublemakers. Absolutely nothing but trouble. They come, make their suggestions. They tell me I should be doing it. Grow my hair longer, they say. Grow my hair really long like that in big, you know, like, what's his name? Vivian in The Young Ones. Have a great big Mohican, they say. That's what that did. Helpful advice that is. That would be the Mohican Explorer. Like that. Oh, here they come. They're back now, look. Yeah, no, we were just saying how lovely it was that, you know, how we missed you. Oh my goodness, did we miss you? We were missing you, and we were just saying how marvellous your idea, your hairdo ideas, your suggestions for the show. Absolutely terrific. Has it worked? Mark Selwood's back. He says, it's fine here, so he's working. Andy Ashley says, I'm ducking. I'm going to pretend it's a post-podcast and not watch. Oh, right. Jennifer, now that you're not watching, I'm taking all my clothes off. Oh, now the screen's cracked. Oh dear, sorry about that. Ali Llewellyn says, my church are doing a Bluebell walk tomorrow too, which I'm also missing. It never rains when it pours. It's a shame, isn't it? What can I say? Anyway, Judith Oakley seems to have everything under control. It's working on her tablet. Her tablet was given to her by Moses. So, you know, if you have, you know, the powers above, then of course it all works absolutely wonderfully. So that's all good. Goodness, says Alan Piddington. He's feeling sick. I do apologise. Don't worry. You wait till you get tomorrow. The arms will be gesticulating like nobody's business, which will be quite curious. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. So that's tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, midday, and we'll have a little wander round Bramber. Martin Snow, where is Martin Snow? I haven't seen Martin Snow will be on the go tomorrow. He has been writing up notes about the history of Bramber Castle and some interesting facts which he is going to impart after the meal. We'll wander up to the castle, and you'll recognise him because, as you know, Martin Snow always dresses in light blue. No, not light blue. It's a colour. I can't remember. He dresses in we need to get him on the show. We haven't seen him for ages. I've forgotten what colour he is. God, blimey. But anyway, his car's the same colour, so you'll know when he turns up. But he'll be doing some interesting stuff, facts and figures and all those sort of things, which will be superb. So there we go. Linda Kane says she's not on her laptop, she's on her phone. Yes, she's talking to Granny. Hello, Granny, how are you? Yeah, I've got this Vobes bloke on the telly. I don't really like him much, but I have to support him because otherwise he'll come round and bash me on the head. I know, it's that kind of show. Terrible, isn't it? Are you still there, Granny? Oh, nice to see you. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, go bye. Oh, Granny. Yeah, no, come back to the phone. Come back. Yeah. Oh, are you out of breath now, are you? Oh, I'm ever so sorry about that, Granny. I just wanted to see how far you could go before I called you back. That's right, yeah. All right, bye then, Granny. Yeah, bye. Oh, Granny. Oh, you've collapsed. Oh, well, never mind. So now, what are we going to do next? I'm going to tell you about... I've got a list of things here, and I'm just sort of shuffling in my mind how to do the show. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where I'm going to be on Sunday, seeing as we're sort of doing the Diary of the Vobe. On Sunday, this is quite interesting. You may want to come along, actually, if you've got nothing else planned. I'm going to be at a wedding fair. Oh, yeah? Yes, I'm going to be at a wedding fair, a lovely wedding fair at Gilbert White's house in Selborne in Hampshire. Now, this is an interesting thing because I was invited along by Erica, as in, you know, Erica from the Green Dress Company, and she is taking part in this rather interesting wedding fair, as I said, at Gilbert White's house. Now, Gilbert White, he wrote this book. He's very famous for writing this book. Absolutely famous for this book that he wrote. Here it is. Such a famous book, I'd almost lost it. On display in Gilbert's house is the manuscript, The Natural History and Antiquities of Selborne. Yeah, I'm sure you've got a copy on your shelf. Of course you have. The Natural History and Antiquities of Selborne. He is basically the first ecologist, ladies and gentlemen, around in the 18th century. He was fixated with the countryside and how to study things. He was studying birds, for example, whereas a lot of naturalists would capture birds and then study them once they're dead in their studies, so they didn't have to go outside in the rain. He was very different. Oh, yes. He studied the birds and things in their natural environment, and he discovered that there were certain different types of birds just by listening to the warble of the birds. Interesting bloke, actually. Anyway, this beautiful old house is set... it's called the Wakes, I think. Anyway, Gilbert White and his family moved there when Gilbert White was about 7 or 8 years old, and he'd lived there all his life, and he wrote this, and he studied various things, and naturalism, and then he wrote this famous book and got famous, no doubt, on the back of it. You know, in the old days, you could write one book and become well-known and rich. These days, you have to write 456 of them, and still nobody knows who you are, and you're not rich. But anyway, he'd written this book. It was a landmark book, and it made him famous. And he had this lovely house, and now the house is run by I can't remember whether it's National Trust or somebody or other, but it's hired out for various events, and tomorrow is Sunday is this rather interesting wedding fair, and I've been invited to go because it gives me access to the house and have a look around the house. There's a museum and it's all interesting, so I do some videoing of that, and also there's some interesting things going on in the wedding fair. For example, there is at 12 o'clock a sand ceremony. Now, it's not actually by the beach or anything like that. Not quite sure what the sand ceremony is. I'm going to find that out. But it all takes place in the 16th century barn. It's a visual ceremony led by celebrant Miranda Ash. Then there'll be lots of brides modelling dresses from Erica's Real Green Dress collection. Which will be very nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of that. You'll get a free glass of lemonade, which obviously is going to be superb. You can put your own gin inside if you so wish. At 2 o'clock, now this is something that the lovely Julia was telling me about the other day, hand fasting. Now it says here, gather under the 280-year-old oak in the Great Mead. I don't know quite what the Great Mead is, but that sounds like, something to be jolly. Miranda Ash from the Celebrations for All will be demonstrating the symbolic ritual going back to Celtic roots. And then the brides will be coming back out, modelling the more dresses, Erica's Real Green Dress collection. And lots of other bits and bobs will be going. There's some makeup and there's a singer-songwriter and stuff. 3 o'clock, you can meet the Mind Boggler. And that's a chap called Chris Hare. He's going to boggle your mind in the marquee, telling you history, no doubt, because Chris Hare is a historian. If it's the same Chris Hare that I know about, he's a historian, but it might be a different Chris Hare for all I know. And then there's various photographers. So if you're interested in getting married, you want to get married and you want a nice dress, then pop yourself up to Gilbert White's house in Selborne on Sunday. I think it starts at about 11 o'clock. Anyway, so I shall be going there. And doing a little bit of videoing, and of course that will be, naturally in the thing, which will be rather jolly. You've got something to tell us. Why are you going to a wedding fair? Says Alan Piddington. Nudge, nudge. Well, I'd have told you why I was going. I was invited. Eric is getting married. Is he? Jennifer Stewart asks, are you getting married, Eric? Who would want to marry Eric? I have to say. Mark Selwood says it sounds great for a Sunday. So there we go. Halos had a very old tortoise. Don't know where that came from, but that's true. Anyway, Anthony Jones says, how's the lady friend in Shrewsbury? Well, I have to tell you, Anthony Jones, I don't know whether people really know this, but the lovely Harriet and I are no longer an item. I'm afraid to say that due to circumstances that we've had to make a sensible agreement that we're no longer an item, which is, it's really regretful, I have to say, but we do live 230 miles apart, and she's up there in Shrewsbury, I'm down here in Sussex. I've just got a grandson. Where is he? I put him on the stove earlier. Told him to watch the potatoes. Anyway, I've got a grandson, I've got my family down here, and we've been together for 10 years, and really and truly it's just it came to a point where we just had to we need to stay friends. So I do hope to do some more videos with her, but we're no longer together, I'm sorry to say. But we do hope that we can get little Lola, lovely, lovely little Lola, back on the screen with her little tail waggling. So that's answered your question. Anne Evans says that I'd look nice in a nice dress. Yes, I may do a bit of modelling when I get there. I may stand and pose, a little bit to see if anybody thinks that I would make a perfect bridegroom, but you never know. Paul Hines says, I may not be able to go to the meetup. One of my clients wants me to carry out a full biologist don't know why I couldn't read that, a full biologist technical survey this weekend. I will know more in the morning. Well, I'd be fascinated to know what a full biologist technical survey means. So that's all good. Yay to Linda. Yeah, so what's this? This is like an episode of The One Show. Yeah, sorry, you're getting all my personal details in there. It's a bit like The One Show. The next show, of course, I'll be downloading Tinder and swiping left and right, up and down, all sides of the rainbow. I don't know I've never seen Tinder. I don't even know how it works. But I know that I don't want to be going anywhere near Grindr, apparently. So we'll leave that for a rainy day. Anyway, I wanted to get on the next thing, ladies and gentlemen. The next thing on the list is, let's think about... what we're going to talk about now is some filming tips, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to give you some more help for those vobing reporters out there who want to do a little bit of filming. So on the film tips today, on the Friday show, my first tip is those people who are using these things to do your filming with, right? And they're very nice little gadgets, and these days the quality of them are, almost as equal to some of the top professional cameras. It's amazing the quality that you can get from these things. However, ladies and gentlemen, there is one flaw that I've noticed that not everybody, but a lot of people do with their little phone. Now, we talked about getting a microphone and plugging it in, whether that's you can get the correct microphone for your phone to go into the little socket if you have one, but and maybe that's on there, or it's wired and you can put it on like a lapel microphone, which is all good. We spoke about that. But this is the flaw, this is the mistake that I see time and time again. When people are out there and they're doing their videoing and they're doing their piece to camera, technical term, that piece to camera, PTC, piece to camera. When you're doing your PTC, piece to camera, people tend, because the screen is here, they look at themselves. They admire themselves. Hello, yes, I'm out here in the Outer Hebrides, in the freezing cold, getting my little nuts, cold as anything, ready for the nut-cracking season up at the Nutcracker pub. And they're so busy looking at themselves, and they forget the camera, the actual lens of the camera, the actual bit that is doing the recording, is over at the side. So when you look at it back, what tends to happen is you get this sort of effect where they're talking just slightly off screen, and they're saying, "Hello, everybody. Yes, I hope you can understand it all, but I'm actually talking off screen." Oh, there you are. So remember, when you're filming, you've got to find the lens. Don't look at yourself. That's only to get a vague bit of framing. Once you've got your framing, hold the camera steady and deliver your piece, but look down the lens. That's what I'm doing now. I'm looking down the lens as if I can actually see you. Some of you I don't really want to see, actually, at this stage. Can you put your clothes back on now, please? Thank you. And Mrs. Jones, you can put your curlers in now. Thank you. That's right. And then pull your trousers up. That's lovely. Martin Snow has joined. Hello, Martin. You've missed your bit. We did your bit earlier. Mark Taylor goes, acronyms. Don't know what's he's done with acronyms. Oh, doesn't like, is that the TCP business? TCP and gargle every day, and soon your throat will go away. Yes, so that was tip number 1. Tip number 2, you get 2 tips today. 2 tips, like PG tips. It lets the flavour flood out. A little bit of free advertising for them, for I feel the company doesn't make enough money, and I'm so rich in my generosity that I've given them. Anyway, so the next thing is get yourself one of these. Yes, what is it? It's a little chin rest. When you're tired, you can put your chin on it like that and have a snooze. Now, of course, it's not a chin rest, you nanas. It's a little tripod. It's a tiny little tripod. Now, unfortunately, my phone doesn't have it, but I'm sure you can get little gadgets that connect to your phone, so you can screw a thing. Actually, it would be that way, horizontally like that, because we're all filming horizontally. We're not doing this filming that way, although Facebook for some reason doesn't like to turn the video round, certainly on mine anyway. But get yourself a tiny little thing, because you can clip your your phone onto your tripod, and then when you're out and about, you can find a little wall or a branch of a tree or something like that. You can bung your on there, click your phone onto it, and then you can stand and do the piece looking down the lens, looking down the lens, and you can do your piece to camera, and it's nice and stationary. It's actually stationary. Just be aware of the horizon. Be aware of the horizon so it doesn't sort of do this. It's not on the piss, as they used to say in the trade. Now, there's lots of different ones. That's a very simple one with bendy legs. You see, you can bend those legs like that, which is very nice and easy. I'm sure you're all making comments about that. Or, yes, that's right, Steve, you can get the Gorilla Pod. I hadn't mentioned that because that's, I just there's loads to look at. This one happens to be by a very reliable make, Manfrotto. It's left on... Manfrotto, of course, was left on... Robinson Crusoe Island, next to Manfrotto. And that's a little bit more thing. But again, what you can do is a lot of people are filming with these sort of cameras, an SLR camera or a DSLR camera to be accurate. And of course you can, as long as it's got a 1/4 inch thread, you just need that 1/4 inch thread, and it's ever so easy. You can see how easy it just clips on. It's so easy. It's almost, it's just like butter in your hands, isn't it? Come on, you swine, get on there. We're live, you fool. We're live. There we are, look. So not only can it also act as a handle for when you're filming yourself if you've got a bigger camera, and the Gorilla Pods are particularly good for that. Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, man and myth, don't you know? So that's quite good. It also can sit on a surface like that so that you can take nice still pictures, and of course you can video yourself. So that's the next little tip in the thing. It is about buying equipment. You need sometimes to buy the right equipment. The other little thing that I found with this, the same thing, it's got a 1/4 inch thread on it. I have here, ladies and gentlemen, a microphone clip, and that screws on here just as well. It's ever so clever, all this stuff, you know. It's all very clever. So you can take your microphone, whatever it is. Obviously the clip and stuff would be the correct size with the wire or whatever. And then you can clip that down like this. If I put it here, see if that works. There we go. So you can clip that down. You can have your tripod on your thing, and then you can talk into the microphone as you're doing. Anyway, it's just an idea. Just an idea. I'm not saying you have to do this. It's just a suggestion, ladies and gentlemen. Just a suggestion. Kevin Hall says, just got back from my hotel to visit the Hardwick Old Hall and the slightly newer one. Well done. I bet you're out of puff. Linda Kane says, hi, Julia. Has Julia just come in? I thought Julia was out doing the rollerblading this evening. She's normally doing that. Nikki just says, hello, lovely Julia. I guess that lovely Julia is in the house. Hello, lovely Julia. We've just been... What did I mean? Oh, lovely Julia. Tomorrow. At some point in the proceedings, at some point when we're all sat down around the table, at some point I will get up and start our special ritual. Gog-a-magog! And you know what you've got to do? Gog-a-magog! 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 We've started that, so I thought we'd do that at some juncture tomorrow when nobody's expecting it, and then everybody will get up and do the last Gog-a-magog, which will be good. Oh my Gog, it would be great. Wouldn't it be great? So that's what we're going to do in the the meet-up rather, tomorrow. So I'll see you all in the pub at Lewis. Well, I'll be in the pub at Lewis. You're all going to Bramber. The evil plan has worked, my dear. Yes, how we will deceive them all. No, we won't be deceiving. We'll see you at Bramber, of course, you nanas. Those that can go, Gog-a-magog! It's going to be a bit of a laugh. What's the time now, Mr. Wolf? Oh, yes, 1:30. That's marvellous. So we've done the filming tips. We've done look at the camera. Let's go and have a look and see what's happening on in the group. So to start with, I had a quick shufty round, and the first thing I saw was this evil, nasty symbol. Yes, this was Claire Leach. No, that's not Claire Leach. She doesn't look like that. That's not just her mouth, you know. Oh, no, Claire's much more prettier than that, you know. Oh, yes. It's an outrage. But she saw this at some building, I think in Lewis. I can't remember exactly. And she wondered what it was. And I said, I think that looks like... it looks like... What did I say? A compass. And then somebody else said, yes, it's a compass and a square, as in a building square, so it must be something to do with stonemasons. And then, of course, Freemasons. Free those poor stonemasons. They've all been bricked up, haven't they, those poor little stonemasons? Free them! Free them! Let them out! Let them escape! Let them go free! With their willies! Free willies! With every bite! Let's not go there. Anyway, so that was Claire Leach's. She thought it was maybe a mysterious thing, and then somebody said it was over the Vobes house, which was a bit of a worry. Paul Hine, you have been at Chidhurst at the Buddhist monastery. That's very exciting. I think that's a yew tree that there's there with that interesting Buddhist face peering over, with his nice little hat, and by the looks of things, He's got sideburns on. So I didn't know the Buddhist monks had sideburns, but you know, you learn a lot when you do this. Julie Ann Kench has been to Arlington Village and taken a lovely set of photographs. She's quite new, I believe, to the group, so give her a big warm embrace. And she's taken the picture of this lovely church. I assume that is Arlington Church, and it does look very nice. And there's lots of lovely flower pictures as well. So go and check them out. These are just picked at random. Oh, and this Graham Whittington has been out in his TARDIS, going back in time. He whizzed back in time, met up with Francis Frith, and he's noticed that there is the Castle Hotel where we shall be meeting up in the tea gardens, possibly, and having luncheons and teas. There's me arriving. If you can see that little old car, that's me arriving there. And that bloke in the left there is running away because he's noticed that I'm arriving. There's some bloke in the foreground there dressed in black. He looks a little bit ominous. I think on the floor he's got a scythe. A scythe? A scythe? Yeah, is that the word? You know, one of those things that they chop the people's heads off with. Anyway, a bit more colourful here. This is Ed Warren. He's been out and about in the countryside filming the lovely oilseed rape. Is it? Yes, the oilseed. You have to be careful how you say rape, of course. The oilseed. Beautiful colours, isn't it? It may be a sort of... is it artificial now? A sort of not a natural thing? Anyway, I don't know what it is. But it's there anyway. And it's lovely. It's nice yellowy colour and you can see it for miles. Anyway, thanks to that. We have a bit of a fetish going on, ladies and gentlemen, with boot scrapers at the moment. Not quite sure how it started, but it has gone a little ballistic. And there are some lovely Georgian boot scrapers, as you can see. And this is, I think, Cynthia Walder has put them up at... this is at Up Park. Although it's not pronounced Up Park. I believe it's Uppuk. Is it Uppuk? Uppuk. Uppuk, like Lipuk. I can't remember. Somebody did tell me, and then I got completely wrong. Alan Piddington. Alan, put your picture up there. This is a Spitfire. Look at that, with its propeller not turning, because it's gliding into land. Very lovely. I like these Spitfires. I have a big passion for those aeroplanes. There's something, although they are killing machines, there's something romantic about them, the shape and the dynamism of them. Anyway, he's done a grand job there with a bit of Photoshop work. I assume it's Photoshop or something like that. Matthew Holdsworth has been in Reigate, and he's discovered some strange, quirky bloke with bald head and a backpack, probably jumped out actually by the looks of it, of the Spitfire. Looks like that's his parachute on his back. He's landed. Maybe he's one of the enemy, and he's come down as a bald explorer. And he's actually, what he's doing, he's exploring the countryside to get it all on video so that he can take it back to the fatherland for the great invasion that will arrive at some point. And Dickie Vobes and the Vobettes will be invading the land. You never know. That's right. Dickie Vobes and the Vobettes. That's a bit of fun, really, anyway. So there we go. So that's nice. So what have we got there? Rapeseed oil is bad, and the leftovers make canola oil. I don't know what canola oil is, but the other thing I found I got with my Samsung in the box is a micro USB to standard USB converter that you can plug USB mics into, and even a USB sound card. How many times can you write USB in the same sentence there, Steve? Dan Thompson says, don't pee in the pool. That's a picture of me attempting to, as long as I'm only peeing in the pool, that would be not so bad. Dunkirk ending made me cry with the Spitfire gliding down with Nimrod playing. Yeah, quite how they got the orchestra into the back of the Spitfire, I'm not quite sure. And where the conductor stood, I don't know. He should have been flapping his wings to keep the aeroplane up in the air. But, you know, it was interesting, wasn't it? I didn't overly enjoy Dunkirk, actually, when I saw it. I found the time shift and the three different storylines a little bit irritating, but that's just me. A lot of people find me irritating, so what can you say to that? Not a lot, other than that they're probably right. So, now then, what have we got here? Done the wedding fair. I have done the portable tripod. We've done the 600. We've done the group meeting. Now, I did have a thing to talk about, but actually, I don't really want to talk about that. So I'm going to throw the rest of the evening over to the questions and answers. We haven't done questions and answers for a long time. Somebody asked about what happened to Harriet and the lovely Lola, so I've answered that question. That stops all the gossip going on at the moment. And yes, I shall get myself onto one of these new dating apps and see how that works out for me. Probably. Who would want to date the bald explorer? That would be such a commitment. I think Harriet doesn't know how lucky she is to have finally escaped. But anyway, if you've got some questions for the old Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi, now is the time. I'll put some thinking music on for you so that you can get your thoughts together. Here we go, a little bit of Jimmy Young. Actually, while I think about it, tomorrow, for those of you who are going, there's two places to park. There is a car park outside near the pub. There's a proper car park. It does get quite full. The other thing is to park at the castle, in the castle car park, and walk back, because we'll end up walking to the castle, and it saves you walking it twice. We kind of walk it twice because you've got to get to the pub in the first one, but you know what I mean. I just thought I'd let that little tip to the wise. I'm going to park up in the castle grounds car park as opposed to the public car park opposite the pub. So yes, there we are. So there we go. So now, what have we got here? I would just like to say USB, Richard. Yes, thank you very much. What is your USP? Steve, what is the USP for your USB? That's what I would like to know. And is it made in the US or is it just US itself? There's a number of questions there. Mark Selwood says, yeah, the time shift was annoying. It's really loved the ending. Oh yes, the time shift was straight. Going back to the Dunkirk film. So Graham Whittington says, your tips on Vobing reports about sound being the most important. Well, what happened to it when you were up on the tour? Sorry, just got to pick something up off the floor. Yes, I know, you know, that's the trouble. You open it, you try and give people advice, and then, of course, you muck it up yourself, and then, of course, you're up the totem pole, aren't you? I know, I get it. Yeah, what happened to us? It was an impromptu thing. This phone is a Samsung S5. It's quite an old phone. At the moment, I'm debating about buying a new phone. I haven't got any money, but I'm debating about buying a new phone and a new airtime thing so that I can do some live shows, not so much in the studio, but out and about with the gimbal, put that in the gimbal and do some live presentations with a microphone so I get the sound all muffled up. The wind gagged. But you're right, you're absolutely right. Sound is the most important thing, and cardinal error, cardinal sin, cardinal Wolsey. You're quite right. Steve Pilfold says, I had a man come to film me at work today, and he had a knee war light, about 6 by 4 inches. I notice you use knee war lights, so you recommend them for lighting subjects. When you say knee war lights, do you mean these panel lights, the LED panel lights, the ones that we're using over there? Hang on, I'll have to do this in real time. Hang on, let's see if I can do this. These lights, oh crikey. There's a light we're using today. There's another one. I'm not going to even try to do that and get this accurate. I probably skewed everything up now. I probably skewed it all round, but anyway, there we are. I'm just watching the replay of me turn the camera around. It's come. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're seeing the mess in the back of the room. You're not supposed to see that because that now dispels the myth. Steve Pilfer also says, I use my Samsung S5 as an IP camera, which you can use the source in OBS. Oh, can you? Well, that's why you should never throw these smartphones away, because they do have extra uses. So I will do that. Is Martin Snow coming back onto the show, says David Keel. Yes, I keep saying to Martin Snow, come up with an idea for another local walk and we'll do it. And as yet, I'm still waiting. Andy Ash says, is it true the beers are on you, Richard? Yes, that's right. The beers are on me. Yes, that's it. They'll be on me, but I won't be handing them out. Thank you, Andy Ash. Cardinal Biggles. Cardinal Biggles says Mark Taylor. Steve Pilford, yes, those. They are strange lights, to be honest with you. They're all right for sort of floodlighting stuff, but I think, personally, you can't beat some of there's so many different lights out there. These are cheap, nasty things, really, because they've got no what do you call them, flaps on them. French, what do you call them? The shutters, and also you can dim them, but you can't sort of focus them. There's no lenses on to sort of focus lighting is a whole art in itself. So it really depends what you're lighting. The lighting in here, actually, I think, is quite poor, really. I mean, I've just floodlit it and what have you. But actually, what would be nice... Oh, I was going to have that neon sign. What would be nice is to have a couple of lights in here and make this a little bit more cosy. And have light. But, of course, it's all money and it's all time and it's all... it's only Facebook, isn't it? Yes, I think they're made by... yes, that's true. They are made by Newer, or however it is. That's very true. But, it's horses for courses, isn't it? Mark Selwood says he's using his Samsung S7. If I fix it to a non-existent gimbal, I may not be able to plug the microphone into it. Well, this is one of the problems which I encounter when I'm filming. Well, I have my GoPro on the gimbal, but I can't plug a microphone into it, or I can't use the audio on the gimbal because it picks up the rumble from the gimbal's motors, so I can't use that. So I do take the sound separately. I have so you could use your phone with a microphone to record the sound and then record the picture over here on the camera and then sync them together. And of course, you know how I sync the sound up, don't you? I slap my bald head. It's like a clapperboard. You need the visual of the clap so you can see when it makes the noise, and the microphone picks up the slap, and then on the timeline in the edit program you see that bit, you put that bit on the screen, you see the sound peak, and you match those two up, so from then on in it's all in sync. Get the Huey P20 Pro New 3-camera phone 4K. Could you, Alan, could you just email that to me or message me that separately, because then I can go and have a look at it, because I do need to get something. Is it a good camera? Why do you recommend that? I'm fascinated with that. Barn doors. Thank you, Graham. Thank you. Barn doors. Talking about the lights and the barn doors. Yes, Graham knows what he's talking about. What do you think, Graham, of these LED lights? It's horses for courses, isn't it? Mark English says barn doors. Yes, all right, now everybody's on it. Yeah, we know. They're barn doors. They're barn doors, Who didn't know that, for goodness sake? Mark says, Steve Pilfer says, Mark, you can use a Bluetooth mic. Oh, there you go. Standard hands-free one, and then keep it attached to Neo Mac. There's so many options out there these days. There's so many options. It does get a little bit confusing. In the old days, you just had to have a standard microphone with a XLR cable, and it plugged into a separate recorder with heavy batteries, probably something like a Ewer, or what was the other one they had? A Ewer. The BBC used to use Ewer, and I've got one up there. Not a Ewer. I've got not a Revox, not a Soundcraft. Oh, what was it? Used to use them on the old films things. Oh, what was it? Can't remember. It wasn't a Ewer, but it was that age anyway. It doesn't work now. But now there's so many options. It's so hard to say what is good and what is bad. It's really just a question of finding something that works. How do you sync if you have a full head of hair, says Steve Pilford? Well, clearly you get yourself a Bic razor, don't you? You put a patch in the top of your head, so you've got a slap head. Once you've got that, you can do it. You can always glue it back. There's no problem. Mark Selwood says, us with more hair don't have... I've just answered that, thank you. Julia Hartley says, I'd slap my flappy face. Yes, she has slapped me in the flappy. She's slapped Flappy Mouth before now. Like that. Yeah. She said, I'll sync you up. When we were in Glastonbury, she says, I'll sync you up. Maybe it'll shut you up, she said. Whack! I was floored, ladies. Floored. Mark Selwood says, I've heard Bluetooth. There is a delay. Well, now you're getting into techno. I don't know about that, but Martin and I did some tests with some Bluetooth stuff, and there was a bit of a delay. Being a photojournalist, lighting is very important, especially in a studio. I use LED floodlights. There we are. You've got it from the horse's mouth. We've seen the quality of Graham's pictures. They're absolutely fantastic. He knows what he's doing. If you know, it's Peter Cox says, is the vicar tonight? Oh, it's the vicar. What, are you saying I look like a vicar? Dearly beloved, we are gathered here, the sight of God. The crowd have all come, and now I should tell you a few exciting things that you need to know. When you go there, do the thing that make sure that it all is it amen. Is it the vicar? Another glass of wine. Andy Ash has gone. Andy Ash normally ends with who's for a beer or something. Now his Friday night is obviously drink the wine night. So there we go. So have you got any more questions? Because I'm going to pootle off if there's no more questions. You know, I've got to prepare myself. I've got to pamper myself. Got to make my hair coiffured for this evening. I shall polish my eye, of course. I shall take it out, give it a good old polish, give it a buff up. It's always nice to have a good buff up first thing in the morning. And iron some clothes, maybe get some iron brew, and make myself absolutely, down and out in London and Bramber. So I'm ready there for tomorrow. Oh, the Vicar of Dibley. I haven't seen the Vicar of Dibley. I don't have a television. I haven't got time for watching a television, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't got time for watching a television. Too busy making stuff to watch anything, which is a bit of a blow. So there we are. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a joy. Oh, by the way, cheers. Cheers, everybody. This is this is actually my son's Ribena, or the equivalent, some blackcurrant juice. It's not wine. It's not rosé or anything like that. And just for the record, just so you know, I won't be drinking any alcohol tomorrow. Not because I'm teetotal or anything, but I just don't drink very much at the moment. And so nobody need have to buy me a drink or anything. I don't want people to sort of, preferential treatment. It's very kind of you. But you can buy me a cup of coffee. That'd be fine. But, that's it. So anyway, there we are. Oh, matron. Oh, no, matron. Stop mucking about. Actually, do you know what that is? Blood. That's blood. That's the blood from that's a little bit of the water from Glastonbury from the Red Well. Yeah, see, Julia didn't know I'd kept a bit for myself. Graham Winston says a bit of info for you all. My neighbour is June Whitfield. Well, there you go. And what do you remember Terry and June? June. I used to love Terry and June. Ba 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 dum bum 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 ba 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 da ba ba da ba 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 da ba ba da ba. Because now they'll say that's copyright music on the show. Shouldn't be singing that. Andy Ash has given me a thumbs up, which is very kind. Everyone, have an awesome time. Meet up tomorrow. Hope the weather is fine. Thank you very much. I know you can't make it, Mark, which is such a shame, but we will toast you. We will toast you, yeah? We'll stick you in the little toaster with your little head, your Cornish head, sticking up there going, help, 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 whilst I put the last brick in the wall with the help of Pink Floyd. Anyway, there we go. June is the patron of my theatre. Oh, that's all marvellous. Gotta go. Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear this music, you know it means I've got to put myself to snoozeland and steer the ship towards Bramber for tomorrow. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, I hope you've enjoyed it as well. It's lovely to see you, and I do apologise that we are not actually yet there live, but we are working on a system that we can get to YouTube live too in the future. In the future. So until then, take care one and all. Thanks ever so much. Peter Cox says, what's happening tomorrow? Yeah, right. I'll take care. See you on. Bye for now.